What's up, everybody? It's Michael Fletcher, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live here on YouTube.com. We're so glad for you guys to be joining us with Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock. I am Michael Fletcher. Hopefully, Dee Woodson will come in very soon. I did send her the invite. But, gentlemen, let's dive right in. A very newsworthy show, to say the very least. Smackdown Live from Uncasville, Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun Arena. And it was exclusively on the USA Network. We started it out with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. They were talking about, well, opportunities. All the women of SmackDown and all the tag teams were out there. And two new pieces of hardware was also there. The WWE Smackdown Live Women's title and the WWE Tag Team Championship of SmackDown are both in the house. And how are they going to decide it? Well, it's pretty simple. For the women, it's going to be in a 6-pack challenge. That's right, you heard it. A 6-pack challenge to determine the champion. We saw the 6 there. It's going to be Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Nikki Bella, and I'm forgetting one. I am missing
Carmella.
We're going to get into her because she did something that kind of took us by shock tonight. Plus, on top of that, we also had the tag teams. All of the tag teams were in there, and they are going to go through a tournament. We'll get to the tournament because at least 2 of the matches were done tonight. They said there's going to be an 8-team tournament. The reason why was because Slater showed up, and he wanted a piece of hardware. Now, Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan is like, one problem, Heath, you're not a woman. And Heath's like, look, I know I'm not a woman. I'm not interested in the WWE SmackDown Women's belts. What I'm interested in, what my heart desires, is I want to be a tag team champion. So Shane McMahon is like, all right, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We'll do this. If you find yourself a partner, you got to find yourself a partner by the end of the night tonight. If you win the tournament, if you win the whole thing and become the SmackDown Tag Champion, then and only then you become a member of the SmackDown family. Then you're one of us. Until then, you're not. You are still a free agent. You're not a part of our organization until you win it all. And, you know, I'm going to go because I'll lead it off. I liked the segment. I thought it was very informative. We finally got a way of now we see how it's going to happen after basically weeks of rumors about belts being created. We got to see the belts for the first time. I know people are dumping all over it because it's still the status quo. Fine, whatever. But to me, I thought the tag team titles looked really good. I love the SmackDown blue with it, with the silver plating of it. It actually looks more better than the Monday Night Raw WWE tag team titles. So I like the look of it. For the women's title, you know, it's very generic. It's very traditional. I know a lot of people were dumping on it, but there's something about the SmackDown belt. I like it better than the belt on Monday Night Raw. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe because I'm a little biased because I am the SmackDown guy of the group. But I like the belts. I think the belts look pretty cool. Now, to see Heath Slater in the situation, great. He's so over right now. People's been begging for him to get an opportunity. Let's do it. I think him being a free agent has actually been the best thing that has happened to him in his career. I like it. So at least he's getting a decent push now. And we'll get into the matches in just a little bit. But until then, let's give it off to the host of Ridiculously Raw, Anthony Floyo, front and center, my friend. Give me your thoughts.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher. Hello, friends. Ridiculously Over Anthony Floyo here for another all-new edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Delighted to have you with us as always. And I'll tell you what, we had a little conflict of interest because Michael Bullock hit me up and we were going to do our little thing that we always do, but Michael Fletcher came in and me and Fletch we had so much fun with it last week, so why not? I think this might be our new thing now, but nonetheless though, Fletch and I saw the show for the most part pretty much up until like the final, up until like the right around the main event or so, because that's when he had to cut out, but other than that, it was a great night. But here it is. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think we're going to have any cutouts tonight. I mean, I think I don't think there was one irrelevant thing on this show here tonight. So, yeah, we're definitely going to have some fun with this. As far as this segment goes, I mean, there was a tweet that was sent out earlier in the day by General Manager Daniel Bryan. He sent out the tweet on his Twitter saying that we're going to Shane O'Mac and I are going to unveil the 2 new championship belts tonight, and sure enough, they started it off. They started off the show with that, and we have our brand new SmackDown Tag Team Championship belts and the SmackDown Women's Championship. 6-pack challenge at Backlash to determine the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion. 100% love that idea. I support the idea 100%. It should be a great matchup. We'll see how that goes. My money right now, as far as who can win that, my money right now is on Nikki Bella. I think Nikki Bella is going to probably take that, if I'm going to be real honest with you, especially after the ordeal that she went through earlier this year with the whole injury and all that. So I got to say right now, Nikki Bella is my front runner for the SmackDown Women's Championship. 6-pack challenge, I mean, it's only the second 6-pack challenge in the history of the women's division. You remember all the way back in 2001 at the Survivor Series in Greensboro, North Carolina, we all remember they had a 6-pack challenge to crown a new women's champion after the whole thing with the late great Chyna. Chyna vacated the belt earlier in that year after a contract dispute, and it was null and void for a while. But then they brought it back for the Survivor Series, and of course we all know the Hall of Famer Trish Stratus went on to win that, and that's really when Trish's career really took off. It was that night when the legend of Trish was really born right there, and could that be the same for this? And we're gonna have a lot to say about the women's division, in particular, because there were 2 women's matches, and we're gonna have a lot to say about one of those matches in particular. Fletch and I had a lot of fun with it. Trust me, we did. And as far as the tag teams go, tag team tournament, of course, the 6 tag teams. Obviously, we already know that the Alphas, the Usos, the Hype Bros, the Vaudevillains, Ascension, and Breezango, and Heath Slater if he can find a partner, and then we're going to need one other tag team, and we don't know who that's going to be at this time, but we'll find out soon enough. Maybe somebody from NXT. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I like the tournament idea. We had 2 of those matches tonight, and I'll tell you what, one of them was a lot better than the other one. I'll tell you that right now. And as far as who I think is going to win the tag team titles, it's a toss-up for me. My gut tells me the Usos. My heart's telling me American Alpha. But time will tell. Backlash, we're going to find out who will be the inaugural SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But don't be surprised if it's either the Usos or the American Alphas. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down to those 2 teams in the final match. Because they are far and away the 2 best tag teams on that roster, hands down. And I would love to see those 2 go at it for the tag team titles at Backlash. And like I said, for the women, I gotta say right now it's Nikki Bella. It's Nikki Bella's to lose, if I'm gonna be real honest with you. So, but other than that, a great segment, a great way to start off what was a very newsworthy edition of Smackdown Live tonight. And we're gonna have a lot of positive feedback on this show tonight. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Another one, my last spoiler alert for the night. So, with all that being said, Phenom, Michael Bullock, let's bring you on in. Your thoughts on the new SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the new SmackDown Women's Championship, and the 6-pack challenge for the women's title and that tournament for the tag team titles?
Yes, hello friends. This is the Phenom Mike Bullock here for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon come out and introduce us to two new titles. One of them is the Smackdown Women's Champion, and the other is the Smackdown Tag Team titles. And then at Backlash, it's going to be a six-pack challenge to determine the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Like we said, Carmella, Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, and Natalya. And if I'm going to be quite honest, I'm actually going to surprise some people. I know you probably want to say Nikki Bella. I mean, the thing is, she's just coming back from an injury, and I think it's probably too soon to probably put the title on her. To me, I'm going to be quite honest. I'm going with Carmella to win the six-pack challenge, especially after what we saw tonight. Well, we'll get into that, but that's who I'm going with. As far as the tag team titles, I mean, I know I'm actually going with American Alpha because they are the hottest tag team out there on SmackDown Live, and I think they deserve a chance to have a run with the tag team titles. So we'll just wait and see how it all goes down. So yeah, so I thought this was a good segment to start off this edition of SmackDown Live. So Dee Woodson, I toss it up to you.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good segment. Kind of surprised at what the titles actually look like, but pleased to actually see that they're not the ugliest things in the world, um, but still, I mean, they're at least something that you can be proud of for SmackDown. I'm not really going to predict a winner for either title yet, because I mean everybody in the matches both have awesome possibilities that they could do, but what really I think surprised me the most was having Heath Slater come out and then finding out a little bit later on in the show who his tag partner ends up being. So with that said, this was a really good segment, and I'm going to toss it back to Fletch.
First fight of the night, and yes, there are no cutouts. Everything, we're going from beginning to end on SmackDown Live. First fight of the night, Becky Lynch went one-on-one with Alexa Bliss. This was a rematch from August 9th. Gee, I wonder where that came from. Yeah, Alexa Bliss is Anthony Floyo's birthday. That night, Alexa Bliss won the match thanks to a little help from Eva Marie after she did a little distraction with her beautiful, magnificent entrance. But and this time around, we got the rubber match. But there was a little bit of some. We had two ladies down at ringside, Natalya and Naomi, both going to be a part of that six-pack challenge, and they didn't interfere. They were at ringside. They did the commentary with Mauro Ranallo, David Otunga, and JBL. The winner of the bout, by submission, thanks to the disarmer, was Becky Lynch, the fiery redhead from Dublin, Ireland. Anthony Florio, it is all yours. What is your thoughts about this match?
Well, it was a battle of our two favorite girls, Fletch. I mean, we know the love affair you've had with Becky Lynch for the longest time because of that fiery redhead, and of course, a lot of reasons why I like Alexa Bliss. First and foremost, I share a birthday with her, and the other is she reminds me of a young Trish Stratus. I mean, she reminds me of Trish Stratus when Trish started out. She looks almost exactly like her. It's almost like she could be Trish Stratus's cuter younger sister. if I'm going to be real honest with you. But nonetheless, it was a basic match here for what we saw. I mean, it was not remotely bad. Yeah, like I said, fairly basic match to start off the race towards the Women's Championship. Bliss isn't quite ready yet, so Becky makes sense to get a victory here. I would like to see Bliss get paired up with one of the other heels to build character and gain some more experience and build some chemistry for long-term feuds in the future. But nonetheless, though, okay match for what it was. Like I said, fairly basic fight. I'm going to give it about 1.5 to 2 stars for the effort. I mean, the effort was there, and I'm not surprised that Becky went over. You know, they obviously wanted to even up the score there after Alexa went over her 2 weeks ago on my and her birthday. So, yeah, so that's all there is to say on that. So let the race toward the Women's Championship begin. 1.5 to 2. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss?
Fine match, just too short for my liking. I'm going to give it 1.5 stars. Yeah, I mean, it was a good match, basically to, help set the tone for the six-pack challenge and to see who can get the momentum going into Backlash. So, yeah, like you said, first time around, Alexa Bliss got the best of Becky Lynch thanks to some help from Eva Marie. But this time around, it was the fiery redhead from Dublin, Ireland, Becky Lynch, who gets the win with the disarmer. So, yeah, so a fine match for what it was. 1.5 stars. Dee Woodson, what says you?
I would pretty much agree with the rating, and that's about all I'm going to say about it. So, Fletch, it's yours.
Great win for Becky Lynch. She really needed to get a few wins under her belt because of the fact that, remember, she was the first female out of the WWE draft to get selected by SmackDown. And normally when you get something like that, you need to build something off it. You know, give her a couple of wins here, make her look really good. And, you know, especially now that she could be one of the favorites to walk out as the new SmackDown Women's Champion. I think that's just something that needs to be talked about and needs to be seen. And, you know, I liked Alexa Bliss's performance. I thought she can get better. I think we all can agree with that. Becky is a proven fighter. And when me and Florio did that commentary, yeah, I was showing a lot of love to Becky Lynch. And, you know, we did play pretty well, Florio and myself, you know, with the commentary on it. And, you know, he asked me the question. He's like, what do you see in Becky Lynch? And I kind of shot at him. I shoot it because of the fact that, and I'll even admit it, you know, I like her style. She has this brawler type style, this in-your-face, no-nonsense type attitude. And plus, you know, she's been in wrestling at a young age, you know, especially in Europe. You know, for all you European fans out there, you've known Becky Lynch since she's been 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. She actually left wrestling for about 7 years because she suffered an injury that, you know, a lot of people thought her career was going to be over and that she was never going to wrestle. For 7 years, she got out of the ring and did, you know, things outside of professional wrestling, but got lured back in. Thank God she did. And now she's benefiting from it. Look at what she did. From NXT, now to WWE, now on SmackDown. I think the sky is the limit for Becky Lynch. And I kind of hope she's got the crowd support. She's probably now the #1 face on the women's SmackDown roster. And I think a lot of fans are going to push for her to become the first ever women's champion on the SmackDown brand. Now, of course, we got other women out there. Naomi, who can make a claim for that. Carmella, Natalya, especially Natalya being the mother hen of the group. And we'll see what happens then. But until then, we'll just move on and get right back into the action. The next thing we had was the first of the WWE tag team tournament matches. It was the Ascension versus the Usos. The winners of the bout is the Usos. They move on to the semifinals. And Michael Bullock, it is all yours. So give me your thoughts about this match.
What's the match we're talking about? The Ascension against the Usos?
Usos, yes.
All right, just wanted to make sure. Fine match. I mean, once again, another too short for my liking match. I'm probably gonna say I'm gonna say somewhere between somewhere around 1.25 to 1.5 stars. I mean, it was fine for what it was, but obviously we knew the Usos were gonna move on because, like I said, they are one of the popular tag teams in the WWE right now. So, and really don't want to get into anything on the Ascension because they've been pretty much so 1.25 to 1.5 stars. Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'd give it about the same rating. Like I said, I'm kind of keeping it short and sweet tonight, so I'll toss it over to Fletch.
You know, I'm gonna say about 1.5, maybe teetering on 2. It was definitely a great match. But I'm happy that the Usos goes over, even though the fans kind of get on the Usos. I think it's a guilty by association type thing because of the fact that it was definitely, it gotta, kind of has a little bit of a look and a feel for it, and I think it was a good match. But the Usos advance. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is all yours, my friend.
I'm going to agree with MF's rating on this. 1.5 to 2 stars for the effort. Yes, like Bullock said, too short for the liking, but I'll be honest, this was really a template match for the tag division. Not much deviation from the norm. Heels cut off baby faces to start. Hot tag, breakdown, babyface victory, rinse and repeat. It's effective, but it was pretty transparent from the start. So that's really all there is to say about it. This was the first of 2 tag team tournament matches, the second one of which was far better, and I can't wait to get into that one. So with all that being said, 1.5 to 2 on this as well. So with that said, Fletch, let's move on to our next in-ring segment.
The next in-ring segment, oh my goodness, the tempers flare on this. AJ Styles come out, cut a promo about his victory over John Cena at SummerSlam. Then he demanded an opportunity at the WWE World title against Dean Ambrose. The next thing we know, Dolph Ziggler showed up, and this was actually a secondary because before the show even began, a brawl broke out between AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler. AJ claiming the face that runs the place, trying to poke fun at, who won, after saying that I'm the new face, respect me, and this and that, and then started throwing some garbage at Dolph Ziggler, saying, hey, what about you? You lost at SummerSlam, right? You didn't get the job done. You're not the world champion. Bow down to me. Well, Ziggler didn't like that. They brawled a little bit, broke up by the referees, and, well, actually broke up by the wrestlers in the locker room area. And before it was all said and done, the next thing you know, Ziggler comes out, referees and agents trying to break up the two, and Daniel Bryan comes out and is like, you know what? I had enough of this. I'm not gonna deal with you two guys ruining this good show, which it was, ruining a good show tonight. And you know what? You guys want to fight so bad? All right, it's going down tonight, Uncasville, Connecticut, Mohegan Sun Arena. You two knuckleheads are gonna fight. This is what's gonna happen. AJ Styles, if you win this fight, you get a one-on-one with Dean Ambrose at Backlash for the world title. However, if Dolph Ziggler wins, then it's going to be AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose. Triple threat for Backlash for the belt. With all that said, Dee Woodson, you lead off on this, my dear. Give me your thoughts.
Honestly, I thought it was a really good segment, and it was fun to actually watch. Somebody else get in. The face of AJ, as we've all seen AJ get in the face of Cena. What now? 4, 5, 6 times. It was kind of nice to see somebody else doing that. Kind of in a return type thing, and AJ had a few points. He there about Ziggler not winning the match, winning his chance at becoming world title holder, and so now it'll be interesting to see later on in the night exactly what goes down with these two, and how who's going to end up facing Dean Ambrose at the pay-per-view that's coming up. So you know another awesome segment, another really good um, storyline build, even if it is a one night storyline build, but it's a nice little build there. So I'm gonna toss it back to you, Fletch.
All right, and I gotta say, to me, this was the non-wrestling segment of the night. This was absolutely phenomenal. I love AJ Styles. I love the fire. I love the fact that he was trying to poke fun at the fans, saying, "I'm the face of the place now. Acknowledge me, bow to me. I beat John Cena. I beat up John Cena 2 times. That makes me the face that runs the place, and the whole 9 yards." And like I said, the next thing we know we had was, of course, Dolph Ziggler coming out, and it looked like they were gonna brawl. And I love how Daniel Bryan was like, you know what, he was the perfect guy to come out to cut the anticipation with the knife and stop the chaos that was about to ensue. And I like the fact that they teased a triple threat, even though we already knew right off the bat, because it almost was like AJ already had the shot. So it kind of was like, man, I wish it would have been one of those where they could have said, the winner of the fight gets to fight Dean Ambrose, because already, if you think about it, AJ was already guaranteed the shot. They kind of tipped their hand already more than anything else. I think that's kind of a minor gripe I make, even though I thought the segment was absolutely awesome. So with that said, Anthony Florio, I give it to you.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this segment indeed, Fletch. But then again, we had fun on practically almost everything we did tonight on this show, and this was not an exception either. I mean, what a segment here! I definitely agree with you, Fletch. This was the segment of the night, most definitely. Even though the other in-ring segments were all very good, all the in-ring segments were really good. But this, to me, by a smidge, was the best one, because you had AJ Styles, gloating about beating John Cena for a second time, and then saying that he should be next in line for the championship of the world, and then all of a sudden you get Dolph Ziggler out there and they go at it, and then Daniel Bryan, I mean, making the match with those unique stipulations. And when it comes to the match, with the way he set it up, with saying that if AJ wins, he gets Ambrose 1-on-1, but if Ziggler wins, then it's a triple threat match. So in a way, it basically gave AJ the advantage going into that fight. It's almost like, I'm gonna channel my inner Bobby Heenan for a minute. It was almost like Styles didn't even have to beat Ziggler, but Ziggler had to beat AJ Styles. See where I'm going with that? So that's really all there is to it, because no matter what, win or lose, AJ Styles was going to be in the title match anyway. But it definitely made for a must-win for Ziggler, and all I can say is this definitely had Shakespearean drama, but that's not all on the Shakespearean drama, because Shakespearean drama ruled the roost at the Mohegan Sun tonight, no question about that. So I agree with MF 100%. This was the segment of the night, even though, like I said, all the in-ring segments were all very well done. But this one, by a smidge, was the top segment here. So, Phenom, Michael Bullock, AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, my goodness, what a segment, huh?
Wow. All I can say is this was definitely the segment of the night here. I mean, AJ Styles, like you said, he was bragging, saying how he beat John Cena twice now. Of course, this time by himself, without, of course, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson interfering and saying that he's the face that runs the place now, not John Cena, and that he wants a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight or the WWE World title. And basically, Dolph Ziggler comes out because he said earlier in the night he was punking out Dolph Ziggler how he lost to Dean Ambrose, and Ziggler and Ambrose basically were going at it, and they were even going at it during that opening segment of the show, and it looked like it was going to go up. It was going to go again, but Daniel Bryan basically told him to stop and said, "AJ, you deserve a shot at the title." While Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, you were close to becoming a champion. So, you know what? Tonight, you, AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, you want to go at it? You know what? It's on. And AJ Styles, if you win, then it's just going to be you against Dean Ambrose for the WWE World title at Backlash. But if Dolph Ziggler wins, then it becomes a triple threat match: Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler. So yeah, so how does it all go down? You'll have to wait and find out during our reviews. So with that being said, Fletch, let's move on.
And we're going to get into something that was very unique and very interesting, and again, which made this night very newsworthy. And that was, there was supposed to be a women's fight between Carmella and the returning Nikki Bella. As many of you guys know, Nikki Bella made her return at SummerSlam, joining forces with Alexa Bliss and with Natalya, getting the win that night at SummerSlam. And tonight was going to be just a one-on-one match, a showcase fight, because remember, they're also going to be a part of the six-pack challenge. Well, the fight never got off the ground because Nikki Bella was going to do a special interview with Renee Young in the ring, and the next thing we know, Carmella just went on a rampage and basically jumped Nikki Bella and just basically beat her down. The Princess of Staten Island went absolutely five-borough'd on her, on the Princess of the WWE and Nikki Bella, and of course she is the First Lady of the face that runs the place, John Cena. And I guess on this night, that First Lady took quite a major fall here tonight. And Anthony and myself, we both looked at each other, or we've talked about this, and we got a double turn. Carmella now is apparently going to be the heel of the situation. Nikki's going to be the face. And you know what? This makes logical sense. I like this because Nikki got quite a reception at SummerSlam when she made her return, and she got quite a reception here tonight in Uncasville, Connecticut. And plus, in NXT, Carmella was labeled more of a heel in NXT, especially when she was with Enzo and Cass. She was kind of known as the River Rat in NXT because she kind of was plotting and scheming and whatnot, and anytime she lost, she blamed it on Enzo and really made Enzo's life a living heck at one point. Probably most notably, I think one of the most notorious losses that she suffered was she lost to Blue Pants on NXT. And yes, YouTube.com actually has that fight. I don't think it's been taken down. I think it's on the WWE page on YouTube.com. So go see that fight. Please check that out. Unbelievable. All right. So my feeling is, look, I know a lot of people are gonna poo-poo because I know a lot of people wants to see Nikki in the ring. But remember, Nikki is now probably going to be on a very limited schedule because they're going to want to take very good care of her. You know, they're not going to try to really want to push her too hard because you don't know what that neck's going to be like. And especially now, you can't really afford major injuries on the SmackDown roster. They're really depleted right now. So I really like how this came out. Plus, it makes Nikki very sympathetic, and plus to play off, you know, the injury angle and everything else. But it also makes Carmella look really strong here, and it really makes her gonna become a legitimate threat. Now, I know a lot of people were not really too maybe enthused about how she was being portrayed at the beginning because of the fact that, you know, she got really no response in the couple of times that she came out, especially when she was fighting with Talia. But boy, did they get on her after she beat up on Nikki Bella. I think they finally found her niche. I think she's better as a heel. Nikki's good as a face. And I know a lot of people might be a little apprehensive about Nikki being a face because they tried it once before and it didn't really work. But I think now you've got two very good face characters in Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. And if Carmella starts to be that river rat evil, you know what, like I said, that queen of the 5 boroughs from New York, this might be a thing of beauty, and this might be a step in the right direction and might be the shot in the arm that women's division is really needing more than anything else. With that said, Anthony Florio, I give it to you, my friend.
Oh boy, did we have fun with this, MF? Let me tell you. I mean, man, oh man, we had so much fun doing the commentary on this. I mean, it was wow. That's all I can say on that. Carmella wants to make a name for herself. That's all there is to it. And you know, Nikki Bella was being interviewed by the beautiful Renee Young, and then all of a sudden, there's Carmella who jumps her from behind, Pearl Harbor job, if you will, like our idol Gorilla Monsoon would always say, and that's what it was. It was literally a Pearl Harbor job by Carmella taking down Nikki Bella, and then just went to town on her. My goodness, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. You heard what I said, UMF. You know what I said when we were talking about this. I mean, we were eating this up. We absolutely loved this. I mean, it was wow. I mean, this was one of the most exciting things I've seen in the women's division in a long time. And man, oh man, was that awesome. And a rare double turn. I mean, you know, it's not often we get double turns in the world of professional wrestling, but you know, you got to go all the way back to WrestleMania 13 when we had that infamous double turn with Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, when Bret Hart turned heel and Stone Cold turned face, when it was the other way around going into the bout. And then most recently, a few years ago, with Dolph Ziggler and Alberto Del Rio. I mean, it was supposed to be the other way around. You know, Del Rio was the face and Ziggler was the heel, but then I think it was at Payback they had a double turn where Ziggler turned face and Del Rio turned heel. And tonight we get a double turn in the women's division with Nikki Bella, with Carmella turning heel, and obviously now Nikki Bella as a babyface now. So, which makes logical sense because you know Nikki Bella coming back from injury, and you know when somebody comes back from a gruesome injury like she did, you'd want to build them up as a babyface. I mean, I don't know why they didn't do this. Is what they should now. This is what they should have done with Seth Rollins. You know, when Seth Rollins came back 3 months ago, you know, back at Extreme Rules, when he came back, there should have been a double turn there. They should have turned him face and they should have turned Roman heel. But no, of course, WWE was way too obsessed with the other dynamic. But at least they got this one right. They didn't screw this one up. They got this one exactly right. And it's obvious that they want Nikki to be a face for her return, and it makes sense. But I'm not sure how long it can last. She's definitely a little less comfortable in that role. Maybe she'll grow into it. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, good for Carmella. I mean, and I told Michael Fletcher this. I thought Carmella, I mean, before the night, I thought of Carmella as one of those ho-hum Barbie doll model divas, but no. After what I saw tonight, going after Nikki Bella the way she did, I just gained a newfound respect for Carmella. Well done. That was awesome. So, double turn. So, Michael Bullock, as we bring you in, you said, you just said a little bit ago that you think Carmella is the odds-on favorite to win is actually your pick to win the Women's Championship six-pack at Backlash. Was what she did to Nikki Bella the reason why you said that?
Yes, that was the exact reason. Yeah, I mean, after what we saw tonight from her, I mean, this is one of the reasons why I think she should be the favorite to win that SmackDown Women's Championship. And of course, because Nikki Bella just got back from an injury, and I think it's probably too soon to put the title on her. And remember what else Michael Fletcher said? They're probably going to put her on a limited basis because of the injury. So those are my reasons why I think she'll do. But man, oh man, oh man! I mean, we were supposed to have that a match, but as Renee, like you said, Renee Young was interviewing Nikki Bella, then all of a sudden Carmella does we have a double turn, and she does a Pearl Harbor job, and I'm sitting there like, what the heck did we just see? And she just beat the living daylights out of Nikki Bella, and I'll tell you this right now, guys, that wasn't the last time, because during that Talkin' Smack show on the WWE Network, when Renee Young and Daniel Bryan were interviewing Nikki Bella, Carmella did it again. She Pearl Harbored her from behind and just beat the snot out of her. So, yeah, I think this is definitely really going to work out. So, yeah, so I really don't know what else there is to say except Dee Dee Woodson, I give it to you. What's your thoughts on this double turn?
Honestly, I think this was good for both of them. You know, we have Nikki, who's now trying to make a name for herself without her sister, and trying to just trying to stay in the business that she loves. And when they started, they were the Bellas. They were, there's two of them now. There's just the one because Breeze stepped out. So now she's having to prove herself as a singles competitor without having her sister right there to support her. And so this is going to be really good for Nikki to get in there and to start trying to show a strong front as herself. And I do think that this was a better turn, making her a face for right now. And maybe later she can go back to the heel. But yeah, this was good to make her the face in this. And Carmella definitely does a good job as the heel. And I do think they did the right choice with this. So, Fletch, I throw it back to you.
Yeah, and I actually just saw on the Snapchat that brawl that you were talking about, Michael Bullock. Oh my God! Holy cow! I can't believe that just happened. Carmella just gang attacked Nikki Bella on Talking Smack. My God! And actually, Talking Smack has had his. I mean, you want to talk about explosive. We'll talk about something a little bit later on, which I think you guys we're going to have to get into. The Miz and Daniel Bryan, and there was a verbal exchange, and it got ugly. But we'll get into that a little bit later on in the evening, because we're going to get into the next part, which was Randy Orton talking about his match with Brock Lesnar to be interrupted by Bray Wyatt. Anthony Florio, It is all yours.
Can we say Orton versus Wyatt at Backlash? I think we can. Another very good segment here. Like I said, all the in-ring segments were very good, and this, to me, I would have to say this was probably the third best segment of the night, even though it was very well done. I mean, I like this Bray and Orton feud. I just hope it doesn't devolve into long, Wyatt and Orton promos about nothing. I cannot be more skeptical about this Lesnar versus, I got a little ahead of my notes there. I do apologize for that. But I like the Bray and Orton feud, like I said. I just hope it doesn't devolve into long-winded promos about nothing. But this was a fine segment for what it was, like I said. And yeah, there's no question about it. It's going to be Randy Orton against Bray Wyatt at Backlash in Richmond, Virginia on September 11th. So, which I think could be a good, solid 3 to 3.5 star match, given these two guys' body of work, no doubt about it. So that's really all I can say about it. So third best segment of the night for me. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this Randy Orton Bray Wyatt segment? And it looks to me like we're going to see Orton and Wyatt go at it at Backlash. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna see Orton and Wyatt at Backlash. Yeah, like you said, Orton comes out and talks about his matchup with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, to the point where he got those 10 staples on his head, and then all of a sudden he gets interrupted by Bray Wyatt, and Wyatt cuts a good promo. So yeah, so it's, like I said, it's definitely leaning towards a Bray Wyatt Randy Orton match. It's at Backlash. So I really got nothing more to say except Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good segment. Very mysterious of Bray, having the hood over his head as he's sitting in the rocking chair, which we haven't really seen him do the rocking chair bit in a while. So this was kind of nice to see. He's stepping back into that role. Very dark, very eerie, and you almost feel sorry for Orton for the staples that he had, but at the same time, it was a fight, and I have a feeling, going into this with Bray, we're gonna have another really intense, warfare going on here, and we'll see if the Legend Killer can eventually snuff out the dark one here, is what I'm going to call him, because I'm not going to call Bray kind of what he calls himself, so I'm just going to call him the dark one here. So, Fletch, it's yours.
Very once upon a time there, Dee Woodson, by calling him the dark one, and I know where you're going with that. No, I'm gonna say this. I mean, yeah, it was a great segment. I mean, very good. I love Randy Orton, how he was trying to say, look, I'd rather not have the fight ended the way it did. He was like, I didn't need Shane McMahon to be there, and look what happened. He ended up paying quite a price for it. Then, yeah, we should have known something was up, because Bray Wyatt posted something on his Instagram earlier today, and it was saying, welcome to a revolution. And I guess we found out what that new revolution is. He has his sights set on the 12-time world champion, Randy Orton. He wants to walk into Viperville and basically wants to become the eater of worlds and destroy Viperville one nook and cranny at a time. So, great segment. Amazing segment, to say the very least. And, I know where Anthony was going, so I'm going to sidebar here, and I'm going to open forum this. Then we had a backstage segment with Shane McMahon. He talked, basically, they interviewed Shane, and they wanted to get his thoughts about what happened at SummerSlam with Brock Lesnar, the whole 9 yards. And Shane didn't really want to talk much about it. He's like, I gave my thoughts about it on social media. I want to leave it alone. Then they pressed a little more, and they're like, well, you heard about Stephanie. She fined Brock Lesnar $500 for the beat up, for the assault, and he's like, you know what? That just means that she's not taking it seriously. She obviously didn't care that I got seriously hurt, and she was just doing it to stay face. So no. And he's like, well, is there is there anything that you want to say to Brock Lesnar? And now Shane's like, you know what? You're really being pushy about this. All right, fine. You want a soundbite? Here's a soundbite. Me and Brock Lesnar, we're far from over, and walks away. Whoa. Does any of you guys want to take this for a spin for a second? Open forum.
Well, that one. You talk about a statement there from Shane McMahon saying, you know what? As far as me and Brock Lesnar goes, we're not done. And he basically, was offended that Stephanie McMahon only fined him $500 and didn't even take this whole thing seriously. So I'm guessing with the way he said that, I think we're looking at a Shane McMahon Brock Lesnar match. The only thing is, when are we going to see it? Could we possibly see it maybe at another pay-per-view, which is Hell in a Cell, or I even heard, or maybe even WrestleMania, for example? I don't know. A lot of things. There's a lot to digest with this. I mean, especially since we're coming off of what happened at SummerSlam. So something definitely to think about. So whoever wants it next, take it.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to lead up to either a match or no telling what all Shane could come up with. He could pull several different angles between now and the time that these two would be able to meet up for a match. Could come into lawsuit type thing. It could come into definitely more of the SmackDown versus Raw type feud, since Stephanie was so light on the punishment that she was giving Brock, and Shane saying, "Hey, this isn't good enough. There needs to be more here than just finding him." Something that's just pocket change to Brock. We need to really hit him somewhere where it's going to affect him a lot more than his pocketbook. And so we'll just kind of have to wait and see how that plays out and exactly what Shane does to get back at Brock for this. And it's I'm possibly seeing it more, them pulling this one and dragging this one out until WrestleMania, but that's just my opinion there. So, Anthony, if you want it, take it.
Yeah, I mean, $500 fine, that's a slap on the wrist, and there's obviously more than this that meets the eye. It's definitely going to lead to something down the line. Maybe a Hell in a Cell match. Well, I don't think a Hell in a Cell match would work, considering that Lesnar's a Raw guy and Shane O'Mac's a SmackDown guy. I don't know how that's going to work out. The only thing that could work out, I mean, the next interpromotional event is not until Survivor Series in 3 months, which will be in Toronto. So I really don't know how they're going to go with this for the next few months, but we're just going to have to keep our eye on TVs for the next few weeks and see how they continue to address it. But after how Shane O'Mac just blew up at the beautiful Charlie Caruso there. Yeah, I don't know what else there is for me to say except there's definitely going to be a Shane and Lesnar confrontation down the road. When, we don't know, but we're just going to have to wait and see. So let's just move on, MF.
All right, and the next thing we had, well, it was a backstage segment. Heath Slater, poor Heath Slater, was looking for a partner all night. Went for The Miz. Obviously, The Miz, it sounded like they were going to do it, and then, nah, he was just trying to do a Hollywood thing with Steven Spielberg. Yeah, all right, fine, whatever. Then he tried to talk to legendary WWE superstar Double A, Arn Anderson, but Arn Anderson rejected him, and it ended up being Rhino of all people, the man beast. Rhino said that he'll be his partner. Agreed that a WWE Tag Team Champion can make payments on an above ground pool. They shake hands. They agreed to be a team. All right, good for them. We'll see them next week in the tag team tournament. But one thing that was for sure, we had another match in that tag team tournament, and this is the one where it's going down as fight of the night. I think we're going to agree with this one, folks. It was American Alpha versus Breezango, the winners of the bout, and advancing to the semifinals, American Alpha. They were ready, willing, and Gable, Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, they get the job done. They win the match, and a great battle it was. I believe it goes to, because I started it off on, I think that was the Randy, actually, hang on, let me check quick. This was the, I believe it goes to Anthony Florio.
Didn't I start off on that Bray Wyatt and Orton segment?
No, all right, you're right, you did.
And
So
I was the one who took it first when it came to that Brock Lesnar or Shane McMahon.
But wait a minute, Mike Willick, I called it open forum.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Officially. So Michael Bullock, you hit the lottery, my friend. You get to lead off on what I think is the fight of the night. What says you?
All right. Yes. This. I mean, man, this is definitely a fight of the night candidate right here, and boy, oh boy, I mean, what a match! I mean, here we all thought that this match was going to be somewhat of a meh fight here, because we know how much we feel about Breezango, but actually they looked really good, and they actually looked really good here, even in defeat. So we knew American Alpha was going to win it, but man, Breezango really challenged them, and I got to give them credit. So as far as my rating goes, I'm going to give it about 3.25, 3.5 stars as my rating on the fight. But I mean, this was surprising. I mean, I thought this was going to be just another short match, but I was definitely surprised with it, and I gotta give credit to Breezango here. So 3.5 stars. Definitely another one of the top fights of the night. So, Dee Woodson, I give it to you. I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, were you surprised at how long this match went?
Yeah, I was surprised how long it went. I was not surprised at who won. But as far as the rating goes, I would definitely say about 3.5 stars. I mean, this was a very good match, considering who America Alpha was facing. Still ended up being a very good match, and somehow they're making Tyler Breeze and Fandango here really work, and I'm not too sure how they're managing it, but I mean it's managing to that point to where they're quirky, but at the same time, that they can actually work off each other to a point to where you're just like sitting there shaking your head, and I, some of the tag team combinations that we've got now, it's we have the feel of the Rock and Sock, where they're just. They didn't, Rock didn't want to team with Mick Foley, but he did. And that, you almost get that feeling with some of these teams that we've got now, with, Golden Truth and Breezango, but somehow they make it work. And, I was impressed with how this went. So, Fletch, it's yours.
No, I totally agree with you guys. This was a fight of the night for me. 3.5 stars is my rating, and this was an amazing matchup. I don't think none of us thought this was going to be as awesome as it was going to be, and it really was. Like, when we heard American Alpha and Breezango, we're like, all right, this is going to be an easy victory for them. They're gonna go through like without any hesitation. All this other stuff. And once we saw the fight and how it was going, and how it was playing out, I think we all were like, oh my god, this is actually even better than expected. And it took a commercial break, and normally you kind of lose that momentum when you take a commercial break. Oh no, it didn't lose its luster. It didn't lose nothing. It got better over the time, and the ending was just absolutely phenomenal. Great near falls. There was nothing bad about this fight. For me, I've called it so far the fight of the tournament in the tag team division right now. And to me, this is by far maybe one of the best tag team fights I've ever seen on SmackDown. I'll go as far to say that. This was absolutely phenomenal. When you get American Alphas and Breezango with undoubtedly one of the performances of their careers tonight, for Fandango and for Tyler Breeze, this was without a doubt their best performance ever in WWE. So applause to all four men for giving us a fight to remember and truly a great match. So Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Did we have fun with this match, MF, or did we have fun with this match? My goodness gracious. I mean, wow. I mean, when you see the graphic, you're thinking, oh, great, it's going to be a dud enhancement fight. This is just going to be a showcase for the Alphas. Oh, no, it was anything but. There was like 3 or 4 times during that bout that Breezango actually almost went over. That would have shocked the hell out of everybody. But my God, nonetheless. What a match this was. Wow. Oh. Wow. Excuse me. What else to say? 3.5 stars. With all due respect, I have to say this was my second best fight of the night. I thought there was one match that was a smidgen better. But boy howdy, man. This was unreal. I mean, leave it to the American Alphas to make Breezango actually look good. I mean, does anybody remember that god-awful feud with Breezango and Golden Truth? Yeah, me neither. They made us forget about that tonight. I mean, Breezango did not look anything like a campy comedy, bull-funky nonsense tag team. They looked like a serious tag team, and they brought it tonight. And the American Alphas definitely got the best out of them. The Alphas made Breezango look like $1 million tonight. That's all I can say on that. I mean, a way better than expected match. Sleeper fight of the night. Second best fight of the night for me. 3.5 stars. And like Fletch said, although we're only 2 matches into this tag team tournament, this was the fight of the tournament so far. I don't know if we're going to see a match any better than this. Unless, of course, the Usos and the Alphas get together, which I think they will in the final. That's just how I feel about it. So we'll see what happens. But, wow, what a match this was. Me and you, Fletch, on commentary, I mean, we ate this one up. I mean, we were like Mauro Ranallo and JBL, man. I mean, but we really brought more of the Gorilla and Jesse element into this. I mean, with each and every near fall that went down, we kept saying, no, or whoa, what action? And one move in the match that we really had a lot of fun with, Fletch. That clothesline by Fandango that turned Chad Gable inside out. Boy, did we go nuts on that. And then with all the near falls that Breezango created, that almost pulling upsets, I mean, wow. And like I said, I mean, and like Fletch said, that was one of the best WWE tag team matches we've seen in a very long time. And at a time when they really need a shot in the arm, we got one tonight in the form of this match. Well done, American Alphas. Well done, Breezango. Can't believe I'm saying it, but they really brought their game tonight, and they gave the Alphas more than they can handle. So, wow, what a surprise. Pleasant surprise, no doubt about it. You got 4 very happy panelists right here, so. Nothing left to say here. 3.5 stars. For me, second best fight of the night, if I'm going to be real honest with you. So, with that being said, Fletch, let's move on to the main event. Wow, what a match that was.
Main event of the evening. This was AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, here's the thing. If AJ Styles wins, he gets a one-on-one match with Dean Ambrose in the main event of Backlash for the WWE World title. If Dolph Ziggler wins, then it comes a triple threat. It'll be AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose at Backlash. The winner of the bout is AJ Styles. He gets a one-on-one with Dean Ambrose, and I believe it actually goes to Dee Dee Woodson. So, Dee Dee Woodson, what did you think about our main event of the evening?
I thought it was a very, very good match. Lots of action there with AJ and Ziggler, and every time you would think Ziggler was out of it, he would pull himself right back into it, and he proved again. Ziggler proved again that he doesn't give up. He's a fighter. He's going to fight for whatever he believes in. Ambrose said it right. You don't take Ziggler lightly. If you get him down, keep him down, because he will turn around. He will come back, and he will lash it back out at you. And he pretty much did that tonight. It took quite a bit for AJ to get him down. So. For me, I would say it's a co-fight of the night for me with the last match and this one. I gave them both 3.5 stars. So, I know you guys are going to cover this a lot more, so I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to you, Fletch.
All right, I'm going to give it 3.5 stars as well. I'm going to give it second best fight of the night. It could easily be a 1A, 1B situation where this is the 1B, where the tag team fight that we talked about previously is the 1A, but still a great match. But AJ gets what he wants. A one-on-one with the Kingpin, Dean Ambrose, for the title at Backlash. Give it up for Ziggler, man. I mean, Ziggler, gallant effort at SummerSlam, an even better effort tonight, and it just does not get the job done. But I think his day is due. His time is coming, guys. I feel it. He is going to be a world champion on SmackDown. It's almost a given now. But great match, great battle. Nothing bad to say about this. This whole show was amazing tonight. And I'll even admit it, this was better than Raw. So, with that said, Florio, it's yours.
By a smidge, this was my fight of the night. I got to give it 4.25 stars. I mean, this was an incredible main event. I mean, just like with the tag team match with the Alphas and Breezango, there were those several elements of Shakespearean drama that made this match so compelling and so fun to watch. And looking at my liner notes here, 2 days removed from SummerSlam, and AJ Styles made Dolph Ziggler feel like a bigger deal in one match than Dean Ambrose did in a month. It's a shame that Ziggler and Ambrose weren't able to follow up on their hot initial promo with a better build and a better match, because this would have meant even more if they did. Ambrose's too cool for school act isn't really working for me at this point. I could see what Steve Austin was saying when he told Ambrose that he has been resting on his laurels, because there were a few moments tonight where it looked like there wasn't anything behind his eyes. I'm not sure if it's burnout or fatigue, but Ambrose needs a shot in the arm at this point. Hopefully, a very over AJ Styles character can bring that for him. I mean, because you remember on that Stone Cold podcast, when towards the tail end of it, I watched it last night. Stone Cold, basically challenged Dean Ambrose to raise the bar because he wants to see more out of him. And quite frankly, I agree, and I can see why Stone Cold, called out Dean Ambrose like he did towards the tail end of that podcast a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, I love him. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he was always my guy in the Shield, and I'm glad he's champion. And he's done a great job as champion, but I need to see a little more from him for right now. But and I think AJ Styles at Backlash is definitely going to bring that fire out of him, no doubt about it. That fight right there is going to steal the show at Backlash, no question about it. Ambrose and Styles for the title. That's a tough. That right now it's another heart gut situation. My gut is telling me to go with Ambrose to retain, but for some odd reason my heart is telling me that AJ is going to win the belt. I don't know why, because AJ came close twice before against Roman Reigns. You remember at Payback and Extreme Rules, just after WrestleMania. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But for me, that match was out of this world as well. 4 to 4.25 stars, and what a way to cap off what I thought was, to me, not only the best SmackDown Live show, but overall the best SmackDown of 2016 by a country mile. So, with that being said, Michael Bullock, what are your thoughts on this awesome main event?
Yeah, I'm going to give it 4.25 stars as well, and the fight of the night. I mean, great effort by Dolph Ziggler. I mean, he tried. He fought his tail off tonight, but it just turned out that AJ Styles was the better man, and he proved why he's the new face in the place, and now he's going to be going on to face Dean Ambrose for the WWE World title at Backlash, and I do agree. I think this could be the fight of the night, and I think AJ Styles will definitely bring the best out of AJ Styles will bring the best out of Dean Ambrose. So we'll wait and see how all that goes. But either how, 4.25 stars, fight of the night. So let's get to our overall thoughts on this edition of SmackDown Live.
And you know what? I'm gonna go reverse order here. So, Dee Woodson, I know you sometimes you do have to leave because you know with the family and everything else. So I'm gonna let you lead off, my dear, and then whoever wants to take it after that, normally I do open forums on overall reviews, but I'll let Dee start off, and then Florio and Bullock, you can decide among yourselves who wants to go next. So go ahead, Dee.
Yeah, for me, this was a really good show. Definitely better than Raw. I'll give it a 8 out of 10 for the show. There wasn't a whole lot in the negative department on the show at all. But yeah, it was very very good show. Lots of controversy, lots of good information, newsworthy show, and just a lot of really great action, and I really did enjoy it. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and check out because got kids going off to school at 6:45 in the morning. So I'll see you all next week on Raw. Night, guys.
All right, good night, Dee Woodson, and I don't know if Fletch wanted to go next but yeah, usually this is an open forum, so I'll take it next. I can respect Dee Woodson's rating, but I'm actually going to go a little bit higher if I'm going to be real honest. I'm actually going to give this a 9 out of 10. I thought this was a phenomenal show. If it wasn't for the shortness of those two matches, I mean, the match with Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss and the Usos and the Ascension, if those two matches weren't that short, I'm going to be real honest with you. I would have given this show a perfect 10 out of 10 because that is how damn good this show was tonight. This was, to me, not only the best installment of SmackDown Live in the short history of this series, but to me, this is overall the best SmackDown when you combine those other SmackDowns. This was the best overall SmackDown show of 2016 by a country mile. I mean, Fight of the Night, AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler, 4.25 stars for that. Second best fight, definitely American Alphas and Breezango, solid 3.5 on that. And then I really don't know how to round out the top three. I could probably give it a tie between those two short matches with Bliss and Becky and Usos and Ascension. And then you had those great in-ring segments. The opening segment with Daniel Bryan, Shane O'Mac, and the roster, introducing the newly created SmackDown Tag Team titles and newly created SmackDown Women's title. Newsworthiness out of that with the Tag Team tournament and that women's six-pack match at Backlash, and then of course the in-ring segment with AJ Styles and interrupted by Dolph Ziggler, and then the segment with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. There was just so much awesome out of this. My only couple of negatives were those two short matches with Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch and Usos and Ascension. If those matches had been a little bit longer, I would have pulled the trigger and I would have given this show a perfect 10 out of 10. But because of those two short matches, I can only give this show a 9 out of 10. But to me, this was the show of the year. Whoever wants to give their overall thoughts next, it's yours.
I'll go next. I'm actually gonna give this I'm gonna go 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I mean, this was just an unbelievable show tonight, and more positives than negatives. And like you said, the only two negatives were the short matches with the Ascension and the Usos and Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch. If those matches, like you said, had gone longer, I think this could have definitely been a perfect 10. But yeah. So everything else was just awesome. So 8.5 to 9 out of 10 for me. So Fletch, what do you say about your rating?
I'm totally with your rating, Michael Bullock. This was 8.5 to 9. This was an amazing show. Best SmackDown of the year by a mile, and probably one of the best SmackDowns that's been on the USA Network since it started doing USA Network a few months ago. So I mean, this has been an amazing show. The crowd was absolutely alive for this one. Uncasville, Connecticut, thank you so much as always, guys. You guys are awesome. Mohegan Sun, great crowd, and it was just a great show. And for once, it felt like, yes, the limited roster on SmackDown actually was able to work, and it actually worked. It wasn't drawn out. There was nothing elongated about a lot of the things. It felt crisp. It felt cool. It felt good. The momentum was tight. And it felt like a well-oiled machine was going. There was nothing that was dragging down the show. It wasn't like a roller coaster. It felt seamless throughout the night, and it hit a home run and then some. Well done, WWE. Well done, Smackdown Live. And I cannot wait to see a show next week. I hope you can build off this, because I think you guys can. Unbelievable show for me. 8.5 to 9 out of 10. So that'll do it for the Smackdown Live. Let's get into the Mikey's Mindset. Like I said, I have Ring of Honor news for once, and I do have RWA news as well. But let's start off with Ring of Honor. This past weekend, on August 19th, from the Smackdown Live Arena in Las Vegas, was Ring of Honor, and it was a Death Before Dishonor, one of their big pay-per-view events of the year. They had 8 matches on the card, and this is how it broke down. Donovan Dijak beat Lio Rush, Jay White, and Komashita to become the #1 contender for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. That means sometime down the line he will get a shot at the World Television title. So congratulations to Donovan Dijak. Then we had New Japan Pro Wrestling star Shibata. He went up against the last great man, Silas Young Shibata wins the bout at 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Then we had a 6-man tag team fight, all from New Japan Pro Wrestling. You had basically Beretta, Rocky Romero, and Toru Yano versus Bullet Club members Takashia, Tonga, and Tagalota. The winners of the bout is my boys in Chaos. Big victory for them. Tremendous performance. They won at 11 minutes and 17 seconds. Then we had a fight that was anything goes. It was Hangman Adam Page versus Jay Briscoe. Adam Page wins the bout at 17 minutes and 40 seconds. A lot of good stuff coming out of that from a lot of the fans, including the IWC. Absolutely was marking on that fight. Then we had a once-in-a-lifetime matchup. Dalton Castle, one of the most popular guys of the ROH days with the boys, and he went up against the reigning, defending, undisputed IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the world, the Rainmaker, Kushihara Okada, and he was with his boy Kato, the leader of Chaos, and Okada beats Dalton Castle 13 minutes 53 seconds. Tremendous matchup, to say the very least, is what I'm hearing. Derek Ferrera, I know we'll probably talk about it more in a future video. Then we had Mark Briscoe versus Bobby Fish for the Ring of Honor World Television title. Bobby Fish successfully defends the title at 16 minutes and 4 seconds, leads to our co-main event of the night, which was in a 3-way tag team match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. It was The Addiction, the Fallen Angel for Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian versus Unbreakable Michael Elgin and the man that runs New Japan Pro Wrestling, the John Cena of Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and of course with Tetsuya Naito and Evil from the Los Inazables de Japan, the winners of the bout, and still the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, The Addiction, Christopher Daniels, and Frankie Kazarian. They get the win at 14 minutes and 48 seconds, and in the main event, Jay Lethal fights Adam Cole of the Bullet Club for the Ring of Honor World title, the winner of the bout, and new Ring of Honor World Champion, Adam Cole, baby! He wins it with 24 minutes, considered the fight of the night and a 5-star classic from all wrestling fans alike, and people is already calling it a candidate for Fight of the Year. So that's your Ring of Honor breakdown. Now we're going to get into the show that I saw this past week, which was the RWA's commemoration show, which was live from the Chop Shop. And I'm going to go in no particular order, so I'm going to go out of order here, guys, but I'm going to tell you the results that we had in the entire card. But first off, we had was a pre-show fight, the pre-show fight of the night, which was the bonus match, which was Just Alex versus Mike Santana versus Chris Sterling, the Revelation Chris Sterling. The winner of the bout was Just Alex, and this was a solid opener. I'm going to give this about 2 stars. I thought this was a good match, to say the very least. I liked how the body of work came out on everybody involved. So, good match. Nothing bad to say about it. So we're just going to move on to the actual show. The first fight of the night was supposed to be Judge Chambers versus Jack Connor. Unfortunately, Judge Chambers suffered an injury, was unable to go in the match, and it ended up being T. Phoenix. Showed up out of nowhere, beat it up on Jack Connor. Apparently that led to the fight. Jack Connor wins the bout by DQ. It was basically because T. Phoenix refused to break on the count of 5. Basically, it's an NA fight for me, but it was good for what it was worth, good while it lasted. T Phoenix was just throwing Jack Connor, ragging him around like a rag doll, unfortunately. But Jack Connor definitely gets a big victory here. So we're going to move on to the next fight of the night, which was actually an added fight that was not announced on any of the social media sites, which was Tyler Nitro versus Nick Marchand versus David Baker, and the winner of the bout was Nick Marchand. And this was actually a pleasant surprise. I think this was a good match, a solid fight to say the very least. I had nothing bad to say about it. I think it was a real good, solid match, and I really liked how the body of work of everybody involved in this match. Big win for Nick Marchand that probably puts him in line for an RWA Hype Championship fight. We'll get into that fight in just a matter of minutes. The next thing we had was a 6-person tag. It was the Family United, the Insane Dick Lane, the Terror Tom Billington, and Asana versus the Middlesex Express, and making her RWA debut, Mistress Belmont. The winner of the bout was Mistress Belmont and the Middlesex Express. Solid fight, but it was very unique. It was very weird because it was kind of like two heel tag teams going at it. I didn't know how to react to this fight, but I was really entertained. The ladies were really the stars of this fight. Mistress Belmont and Asana really gave us a great performance, and the guys definitely were really good as well. I love the body of work of all 6 people in this situation. A tremendous match, to say the very least. This was about a good 2.5 star fight, so well done by everybody involved. The next thing we had was the Fatal 4-Way fight, which was Tim Lennox versus Todd Harris versus Izzy Starr versus Dan Terry. The winner of the bout was Tim Lennox. This was a very interesting fight. Todd Harris is kind of really that. He's kind of that I'm a rich guy. He almost reminded me of like Ted DiBiase Jr. Then you had Dan Terry, which I guess you could call him a la the narcissist Lex Luger. Tim Lennox, remember Male Mountain Rock? The Rockhead that likes, he was a little bit of headbanger / Man Mountain Rock. It was awesome. I was eating it up. You know, for all you metal gods out there, you know, who loves the headbanger's ball, this guy Tim Lennox is for you. And so big performance, good fight. Izzy Starr, man, he's my resident hippie, man. He had the scented candles going, man. He was feeling the zen, It was awesome. So love these guys. Great body of work by all 4 men. Congratulations. Awesome match, to say the very least. Next fight we had was a triple threat tag team fight. It was the Hoods versus Team Mac Attack versus the Cool People. Cool People wins it. One of the best fights I've seen in a long time in the tag team division. Cool People wins the bout. Unbelievable matchup. I mean, this was a great battle. All the teams were so good in it. There's really nothing bad to say. Congratulations, Cool People. You probably put yourselves in line for an RWA Tag Team title fight. Then we got into the final 3 fights of the night. The next fight was for the RWA Hype Championship. JT Dunn versus Mike Montero, the Ace Mike Montero, the winner of the bout, and still the RWA Hype Champion, the Juice JT Dunn. Death by elbow, he wins it. Alright, I told Mike Montero and JT Dunn to be on to listen to this, and I hope they are, because fellas, you blew the junk out of the fight. This was my fight of the night, 5 stars and beyond, and right now, this could be my fight of the year. I don't know how it's going to play out at the end of the year, but this could be my fight of the year. It was absolutely phenomenal. The mat, you have to go out and see this fight on YouTube. This fight was so good. The action was back and forth. near fall after near fall. Shakespearean drama at its finest. And no doubt about it, these two men laid it on the line. I mean, I've seen some great matches in my day, and I've never, ever seen a fight like this. And as God is my witness, guys, this was without a doubt one of the greatest wrestling matches I have ever seen. And JT Dunn, you, sir, need to be commended because not only did you have a 5-star classic with Mike Montero, but if you remember, you had my fight of the year last year when you fought All Good Anthony Green at Christmas Chaos, and you had another 5-star classic. This fight here was absolutely almost on par, maybe even surpassed his fight with Anthony Green. That's how amazing this fight was. I mean, everybody was buzzing after that fight was over, and we were talking about how great this match was. How good luck to everybody else who was going to try to top this fight because this was amazing. The next fight we had was Mike Rosser versus Brian Milonas, the Kingpin. Milonas wins the bout. This was a good fight. It almost was a squash. I could give this about 1.5 to 2 stars. Grosser tried to make a fight out of it, but think about it. Brian Milonas is 400 pounds. Mike Rosser is about 185. Yeah, do the math. That's about maybe 215 pounds disparaging between one to the other. Yeah, bad. So, good match, but we go right into the main event. Triple-licious puts the RWA Triple Crown title on the line against Dave Cole, the Psychedelic Warrior, the winner of the bout, and still the RWA Triple Crown champion is Triple-licious. Okay, Triple-licious, you SOB. You cheated. You got away. Your monkey ass tapped out. I got you on video. The whole world saw it. I saw it. And then you're like, how you like me now? What do you think? What do you think about me now, Michael Fletcher? You found me and personally wanted to talk to me about it. Let me tell you something, champ. You're lucky that referee was a little wet behind the ears and was and didn't have a clue what the heck he was doing, because I saw it, all the fans saw it. There was 4 pretty little baby girls that was down at ringside, and you know who they are, and they were stunning beauties. They saw you tap out. I saw you tap out. And you could talk about, everybody saw you tap out, but you concealed it so nicely behind the referee's back that nobody saw it. I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely flipping out, losing my you-know-what, and we were yelling that he tapped out. But, it is what it is. Once again, he snakes his way out of a world title win, and one of these days, he's going to get his comeuppance. I guarantee it. Somebody's going to take that belt off him very, very soon. So, unbelievable event. And now that leads us to the next event, guys, and just give me 1 second to get that. It's going to be, once again, it actually will be going down very soon, and they've already have announced some people. Well, they haven't announced the fights yet, but what they have announced that they were going to have a couple of people already coming up for this event, and like I said, they just announced it. It's called Fatal Impact, and it's going down on Friday night, September 16th, from the RWA Chop Shop in Providence, and this is just confirmed. And these are going to be the people that are just going to be at the show. And they have just confirmed. Now, these are the people that they're going to expect. It is Triple-licious is going to be there, obviously. So is JT Dunn. They're both going to put their titles on the line. Mike Rosser, Jack Connor, Mike Montero, The Hoods, T. Phoenix, Tyler Nitro, The Cool People. And they just announced, just a few hours ago on their official website, they've announced that All Good Anthony Green is going to return to the chop shop. And like I said, the last time we saw him at ringside, or the last time we saw him, was none other than the 5-star classic that he had with JT Dunn. That was the last time we had him. Then we also got the Firebrand, Brian Fury. He's going to be in the house. The last time we saw him, he almost walked away with the RWA Triple Crown and Hype titles at Legacy over Triple-licious. And then one other person that just got confirmed for the show as well, Stan the Man Styles. Now, I don't know nothing about this guy, but let me tell you, the RWA website went into an uproar, and not in a good way, when they announced that Stan the Man Styles was going to be on the show. So what does that mean? What's going to happen? You're just going to have to wait. Matches should be announced within the next few weeks. If they do, of course, as always, the Mikey's Mindset will be front and center, as always, with you guys getting ready for whatever may come next. So, for all you guys out there, if you do get VIP tickets, it's $15. You get a signed poster by the RWA talent. They're going to sign those posters, and there's about a limit of them. I think there's like 50 to 100 of them. That's from what I heard. But general admission is $10. You can pay at the door or at rwawrestling.net via the PayPal account. If you got one, you log on to that and get your tickets, because this will be a tremendous show, to say the very least. So that is it. That puts a bow onto the Cerebral Smack Talk right here on YouTube.com. Of course, on Friday night is our final edition of Strictly Sports. We're going to be previewing college football, the major conferences, and of course Notre Dame. Plus, we're also going to be previewing the National Football League as well. This is the season finale of Strictly Sports, and for the last time this year, the Major League Baseball power rankings will be at a close. As always, Anthony Florio will be your host on the Tone 25. Mike Bullock and myself will be in the house, 10:30 Eastern, YouTube.com. That is when you guys will see Strictly Sports one last time. And then the week after, get ready, because then we're going to be really busy. Almost 4 nights a week. You're going to get to see us cover. Basically, we're going to be doing the college football on Thursday. Maybe we'll probably talk about maybe the first game of the NFL. Maybe we cover week 1 then. We'll wait and see what happens. A lot going on. But check your local listings. Check all social media. Check, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, because we'll have a lot coming up very soon. But until then, for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, for Dee Woodson, I am Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching this. Please comment, like the video, share it with everybody on every platform of social media. Thank you so much for watching this. So long for now, and have a good night, everybody. We will see you on Friday for the season finale of Strictly Sports.